Hey guys, Glenn Emery here, coming at you from beautiful Southern California over here at the coast. Got the sun going down, making another video with this just great temperatures and great scenery out here. But anyway, what I'm going to talk about today for this video is why we fail. Why do you fail? Why do you suck at life? All right, what happens when everything ends in catastrophe? And it will. It'll end in catastrophe sometimes. You know, you'll go down in a fiery sort of crash some days. But why does that happen? And we know that we have to fail a lot in order to succeed. So why do we fail? So the number one reason, we'll start right there. Number one, because you failed to observe some sort of principle. You ignored a principle. Maybe you didn't know the principle, and maybe you just chose to act against it. And sometimes you have conflicting principles, and you have to choose which principle you're going to act on, which one you're going to live by, and which one you're going to die by. And I wrote about that in my chess book, but if Sun Tzu played chess. So sometimes you get to decide, you know, be generous in the moment or be selfish in the moment. You know, do you look after yourself or do you look after others in that moment? You know, maybe. Or knights and bishops, right? Knights are good in a closed game. Bishops are good in an open game. So those are things to think about. But I guarantee you the number one reason is there was a principle in effect and you did not follow through with that principle. You ignored it, or you just didn't know about it. You know, sometimes there is a forced failure even, and let's get that one out of the way. Okay, so sometimes a boss won't give you enough time or resources to get something done. It's inhuman to get something done sometimes. Okay, so forced failure is a fact. I try to avoid it, make sure other people aren't going to be subjected to it. You got to be realistic with your planning sometimes. Okay, but number one, not following through with a principle. There are principles to the universe. Gravity makes things fall to Earth. Conservation of angular momentum means you can stay in a perpetual free fall and not touch Earth. Those are principles. Okay, we can talk more about that, but let's move on to why you fail. And these are all principles. Okay, so number one, don't violate principle. Number two is a principle. Okay, you have bad internal dialogue. You talk bad about yourself inside. That's why you fail. You know, you're in the moment, fight or flight kicks in, and you have fear, false evidence appearing real. That's why you fail. Bad internal dialogue. You've been poo-pooing yourself. So as you thinketh, you will becometh. Right? If you say it with your mouth, think in your head, you're going to be that thing. Okay? If you think you're a failure, you will be a failure. All right? So when you are trying to break a bad habit, don't think of the habit. Okay? When you think of the habit, like smoking, don't smoke, don't smoke, don't smoke. What your brain is cataloging is smoke, 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 smoke. It's not thinking of the don't. It doesn't catalog it in negatives. It only catalogs it in the positive. It records it as an event. And the event is smoke. So you're exposed to the thought of smoking again and again and again. What you want to do is replace that habit with something different. Be obsessed with something positive. Because if you are that type of person who gives into cigarettes and stuff or alcohol or whatever, you're going to give into other things. So put your bad habits, throw them away, and replace them with a good habit. Okay? So bad internal dialogue, and that's an impulse control thing too. If you think of a good thought, act on it in 15 seconds. Any more than that, you're probably not going to do the thing. If you're thinking of a bad thought, blast it out with a good thought. Do something positive right then. Okay? This is all just, you know, cognitive therapy and training yourself to be a thinker. Okay? So next, number three, you fail to plan. You don't plan. You're not making any plans. Short term, long term, you're not planning for risk. Okay? So you need to have a safety and security plan, and you need to have various risk plans. Have a safety and security plan, then have a little bit more risky and a little bit more risky and a little bit more risky and a risky plan, and do all of them. Okay? Let those risk plans move in and move out, blow them in, blow them out if they fail, but always go back to the core safety and security plan and have a couple of them. Have alternate courses of action. Okay. Failing to plan is planning to fail, as they say. It's very true. Always give yourself enough time and resources to get the job done too. Don't do forced failure, like I said on the other step. So moving on, number 4, you have a poverty mentality. Okay, there's a scarcity mindset and there's an abundance mindset. If you think everything's a zero-sum game, yeah, in the big scope you're probably right, but in the short term you're not right. It's not a zero-sum game, and there is infinite resources for you here on earth. You're not going to use everything that we have. So how does that manifest, right? How does this poverty mentality manifest? The way it comes up is you want to own things. You want to buy things. Okay? You want to spend money to feel good. You don't use your money to make more money for you. You spend money to make yourself feel good. So that poverty mentality, man, it is out there. It's with tons and tons of people I know. So people hoard, they just fill their house with stuff. And they want to own the newest thing. They want to own the hottest thing. They want to own stuff. And so their possessions begin to possess them. It's not good. You got to break that poverty mentality, the scarcity mentality. The surefire way to, rupture marriages and friendships is to be selfish and to think in scarcity. If you put your spouse in a position of scarcity, they're going to freak out, and you don't want to function that way. You want to think in terms of abundance, okay? That things are possible. Don't have an optimism bias, but think that you can succeed. Think that you can go out there and do things. If you think, I can't do it, then you're right. If you think you can, you're right. No matter which way you think, you're right. If you think you can, if you think you can't, you're the one making that decision. So if you think of abundance, you're not gonna think of, I need to own this thing. I need to hold on to this thing. You're not gonna think of that. You're gonna think, I can make these things. I can produce these things. I could buy this whenever I want it, but I don't really need it. Okay? So get out of the poverty mentality. Think of generosity. Think of giving to others. Think of enriching others, okay? Invest in yourself. Invest in your family. Invest in your friends. Give them your time. Give them your resources, and watch them grow, okay? Watch your business grow. Watch your teammates grow. Think in those terms of team. Together, everyone achieves more. All right. Well, those are the 4 reasons why people suck at life. There's a ton of others. Okay, those are just off the cuff what I was thinking about while I was driving in the car. So if you want to talk about it more, put it down in the discussion, and talk to you guys later. Bye.